Tonight we had a plethora of things occur here on Monday Night Raw. Tonight, actually, for the first time, I would say within this entire WrestleMania build, I've actually felt like this episode of Raw was genuinely like somewhat worth it because we had a lot of things go down here as far as the build for WrestleMania. We had a face off between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. We had Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania opponent officially revealed, among other things as well. We had the return of Becky Lynch. But first off, let's start off here with the opening of the show. We had Seth Rollins come out here to address Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman came out here in this disheveled look. He looked like, I'm pretty sure he's going to come out and claim that he slept, once for the past 4 or 5 days or whatever it's been. And, eventually we had Brock Lesnar come out here and confront Seth Rollins. And Brock was scheduled for this show, right? They made mention of the fact that he was going to be here tonight. So they kind of, I guess, faked this out in the sense of because we still, at that point, hadn't really found out who was going to challenge Brock Lesnar. He has this open challenge for WrestleMania and nobody's answered it. And, I think part of the rumor also was maybe if Seth isn't facing Braun, that being Braun Breaker, then maybe he would be out and challenging Brock Lesnar because, of course, Brock Lesnar has that affiliation with Paul Heyman and, the Vision, and Seth is against the Vision and Paul Heyman. So it really wouldn't be out of the ordinary to think that. But eventually, we hear Oba Femi's music, and Oba Femi comes out here and confronts Brock Lesnar, and there is this moment where Oba Femi picks this fucking guy up. I don't know how much Brock Lesnar is at this point, maybe 280, 290, something like that. Picks this fucking guy up, power bombs him like a sit out type power bomb, and makes Brock Lesnar like this. I can't do it justice. Like, this segment was great because it kind of gave me flashbacks of like the Drew McIntyre stuff with Lesnar all those years ago, where Lesnar claymored him and told him like, "Yo, pick up the championship." In this case, Lesnar got power bombed, and he clearly told Oba to put his foot over him as he points to WrestleMania. So now we have a clear match, and I think it was even made official later on. Oba Femi against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Now, I want to make mention of this because there was a rumor going around last week that Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman went to creative and actively pitched for no losses to take place from now until Lesnar retires, which, again, that could be this SummerSlam, that could be this year, that could be next year. Who knows when Lesnar is actually going to retire? But I saw that report, and eventually they, backtrack on that report saying it was false. But regardless, let's take the match that we have been presented. That's Oba Femi against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. There is no way that Oba Femi should be losing against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. Like, you could say Brock Lesnar is a big name. He's a marquee attraction. Why would he lose to a young up-and-coming guy like Oba Femi? I think this is literally tailor-made for somebody like Oba Femi to win. I don't want this match to go into this match and we get a stinker and then Lesnar gets the win. Like, this should be balls to the wall, go crazy, crown Oba Femi as that new dominant force in WWE, and what better way than to have Lesnar take the L against Oba Femi. We also had the closing segment between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. I can't be the only one who thought, after the final segment that these two guys had together, Punk mentioning Roman's, deceased father, like, it literally, if this wasn't professional wrestling, I think in any other instance, that motherfucker is throwing hands. That motherfucker being Roman Reigns, he's throwing hands. But tonight they came out here and they had a good exchange. I'm not going to lie, they had a good exchange. But definitely, I think this was probably the weakest exchange of them all. Especially at the end where Roman just told CM Punk that he was old, and that was enough to set off Punk. And again, they're playing the issue of trying to get inside each other's heads, which I guess, I will commend them for, telling a story between these two guys. Again, I wonder what the final direction is going to be for WrestleMania 42, because we had seen also the Usos backstage with Roman Reigns, and they're kind of hinting at a possible, a bloodline type tease or whatever. Again, I don't know if that's what they do at WrestleMania. I don't know if it's, in their great interest to have a 5-year-old faction reform and reunite, because it's never going to be as great as the original. That's kind of my take there. Again, who knows what they do at WrestleMania. We also had We also had a Intercontinental Championship match here between AJ Lee and Bayley. I want to get to what happened at the end of the match because we had Becky Lynch, after AJ Lee successfully defended her title, we had Becky Lynch come out here and attack AJ Lee. I think we all kind of figured that, you know, it was either going to be this, a rematch, or maybe a potential other match between AJ and, let's say, somebody like an Io Sky, because what is Io Sky doing for WrestleMania? But it seems like we're going to get this match between AJ and Becky. I think at this point, I think Becky's going to regain her championship, because a part-time AJ Lee, like right now until WrestleMania, it's fine because, you know, it's WrestleMania season and you're building towards that. But afterwards, if AJ retains the title and she's part-time, that literally does a fuck off for the women's division there. And I also wanted to mention this. There was a segment between Randy Orton and Michael Cole. This was supposedly going to be a interview regarding what happened, you know, what happened on SmackDown this past Friday night. They were going to interview him as far as that goes. But Randy Orton, he was on the phone with somebody, and he made mention of this. He said that he was on the phone with somebody who had a brain, had a working, functioning brain, and somebody who made him see who he really was. And, you know, that was the gist of the segment. And a lot of people on the internet were kind of speculating as far as potentially who this could be, right? A lot of people were throwing the name of Aleister Black around. A lot of people were throwing the name of Sami Zayn. Some people were even throwing The Rock around. I don't know what the fuck The Rock would be doing talking to Randy Orton. Some people also mentioned Kevin Owens, and I think the Kevin Owens take is probably the best take out there, because, you know, Kevin and Randy and Cody, they were all, you know, buddies at one time, right? A long time ago, they were buddies. And then Kevin saw how Cody operated, and he took a dislike to that. And now maybe Randy potentially sees how Cody has operated, and he can sort of find something in common with Kevin Owens. And then if that is Kevin Owens, you know, that inserts him perfectly back into the main event title scene whenever he is ready and clear to come back. And I may have missed a thing or two here, but I really just wanted to come on here and cover the base here, the main talking points for Monday Night Raw. Again, let me know what you thought of tonight's episode of Raw. Let me know what you think of these new matches that have been announced and made official for WrestleMania. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And until next time, I will see all of you on the next one.